Yes, I am. I'm in California and ready to leave tomorrow. So
For what reason?
For the wonderful event we're going to do in
That's
Gulfport.
right. Yeah,
I'm
just
excited.
so just to repeat for you folks who live on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, or anyone in that area that wants to drive to the events, Friday night, that's tomorrow night at 7:00 at the Michael Memorial Baptist Church in Gulfport. J.J. Jasper and our guest now, Nazareth, the comedian, will be there in concert. And then Saturday night, they'll move down the road to Biloxi and be at the New Life Family Church at 7:00. Free
admission.
Free admission, free concert.
Thank you guys for doing that. That's really, you know what, there's a lot of hurting people. A lot of people need laughter. And for American Family Radio to do that, just, where you got, it just shows you're not just about, going in, just trying to protect the Christian body, but also to bring laughter to it. And that's really amazing.
Now, Nazareth, you said you're flying out tomorrow?
Yes, sir. I leave very early in the morning, and I will get there early, and that's, of course, it takes me 16 hours to go through airport security.
That's what I was going to say. You need to get there early and don't run through the airport.
No, I figured it out. You know what, Jim? I just, nobody's scared of a girly terrorist, so I just go, hi, who's going to frisk me today? And they just go, let him go, man.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Nazareth is Middle Eastern, and he looks the
I'm
part.
an American Middle Eastern. That means I have my citizenship. About 15 years ago, 20 years ago, I went to the immigration in Los Angeles. Did you know that, Tim and Jim, when you walk inside the immigration office in L.A., they give you a small American flag made in Korea?
No. I was thinking China for sure.
I know, and I needed a translator because my examiner didn't speak English.
That's America. Welcome to America.
I know.
Oh,
I know.
So you speak better English than your translator does, huh? Wow, my word. So that was 15 years ago. Now,
maybe more.
For those who don't know, and we want to talk about your new DVD, by the way. By the way, what is your website, Nazareth?
My website is Nazareth, just like the biblical name, NazarethUSA.com. NazarethUSA.com is my website.
Now, you travel the country, obviously doing stand-up comedy. How, I don't know, even I've heard the whole part of this story, this part of your life story, and that is, how long did you spend in Nazareth, Israel, before you left to come to America?
Well, actually, I was a baby. I was 3 years old when I left the Holy Land, and then I moved to, our family moved to Kuwait, and I did 16 years there. That was my sentence. And then I moved to the U.S. in 1984 at the age of 18. So that's.
How did you learn English?
How did I learn English? You know what? I spoke very little. I came here with that intention. I want to be an American. I came here to be an American, to eat American food, to speak English, to just live in this great country and to cash in on the American dream. And the check bounced twice, but it's going to be good this time.
But
it's going to be good.
So your parents moved from when you were young. Obviously, you were too young to remember unless you've got a special brain. From Nazareth, Israel to Kuwait. So you grew up speaking Arabic, I guess.
Yeah, I grew up speaking Arabic. We were a Christian family. We lived among Muslims there, and so we were second class, kind of, and spoke and roll. And then I moved here, and it just that's why I get mad when people start attacking Christianity in the U.S. I'm like, really, in the U.S. you want to do that? Well, we've heard it in Kuwait. We've heard it in the Gulf area. Really? You want to do that? You want to attack Christians here?
Yeah. Nazareth, the comedian, we're talking to him. Go to his website, NazarethUSA.com. You can check out his samples of his comedy, and also he's got a new comedy.
He does. He's got a new DVD out, and it's called East Meets West. And that should be it. Now tell me, Nazareth, how do you go from studying engineering, which is what you were doing, to comedy? How do you make that leap? I mean, because engineering seems like
that is a mix. That's like peanut butter and mayonnaise.
Right.
I know. I was studying electrical engineering, which is shocking by itself,
Oh.
and I
That was
just
good.
decided.
I caught
to,
that. I got it.
and I just started, doing that, and then I said, that's not what I want to do. I want to do accounting, so I studied accounting, and then I became a tax.
You desired? Wait a minute. Hold on just a minute.
You wanted to do accounting.
You had a burning desire to do accounting?
No. I didn't say burning desire.
Okay.
It was. I knew I wanted to do something different. I mean, that whole left brain thing wasn't working for me, but I just gave it a try with accounting, and I said, no, that's not for me. So God just
I knew
opened the
accounting
door.
wasn't for me after my first college class in it. Your problem with accounting, and this is not to in any way
Detract from accountants.
Yeah, I have a great appreciation for accountants.
Got to have them.
But that accounting class in college, you did not know you had the wrong answer till you got 20 minutes into the problem. You know what I'm saying? And that will make a man crazy. If you know. So that's what I remember. I just couldn't wait to get my C- or D+ and get out of there. But
I got A's. I was a 4-point GPA student in college.
Why don't you just brag on yourself then, Nazareth?
Just show off.
No, it's not bragging. I'm doing comedy.
Yeah, it's not bragging if you can back it up.
Yeah.
I just want to tell everybody at the University of Toledo and every school I went to, I'm not using anything I learned from college.
Hey, it expands your brain. That's what they tell you, right? It's good. It's good. It's good. Hey, so you got this new DVD out called East Meets West, and what are you? What do you? I know. I haven't seen the video yet. What are you going for right here on this one?
Yeah, well, there's a large chunk of material about the difference between cultures.
Yeah.
The Western culture, the individualistic Western culture, and the Eastern culture, the collective, the family-oriented, that you don't matter. It's about the group. It's about the family. It's about the people. So I talk about the differences. And really, it's not just humor. I mean, it is just jokes.
Right.
But people, when they listen, they understand. Like, oh my God, that's why my neighbor is like that, or that's why this friend who's from Asian or Latino or a Middle Eastern culture acts that way because of that. But the biggest difference, I say, is life. Life is important in the Western culture. Like here in the U.S., if a homeless person is 100 years old on drugs and he falls on the street, life stops to save him. Where in the other cultures, it's not about the individual; it's about the whole group and the benefit of that person to the whole group. So, for example, like if someone want to commit suicide here, they're like, "Oh, please don't do it." No, they have suicide hotline. They have counseling. In the Middle East, our suicide hotline is run by Al Qaeda. I'm like, they look at you. Hey, you want to kill yourself? Can you drive?
That is a difference. I mean, it's a different in religion, what it is primarily.
Right.
In your view of what is the value of human life. Talking to Nazareth. Nazareth is a comedian. Obviously, he's been doing stand-up comedy for what did you say?
22 years.
How many?
22 years. I've been in the country city doing 22 of these years. I've been doing comedy.
Wow. Now, tell me about the aunt that died from secondhand sleep apnea. What's that about?
What?
I closed my show, and this has been a bit I worked on for a year, just writing it, and I actually prayed about it. I said, look, I want a closing bit that I get a standing ovation for. And I just prayed, and that whole snoring bit, how women have to suffer through their snoring husband. I go, don't say something, tell your pastor, because I have an aunt who died from secondhand sleep apnea. And I go through the whole process where the woman's waiting for her prince to come and, marry her.
Oh, it's hilarious. I have heard that routine.
Yeah, right.
I have heard that routine at the Cove last September. That is hysterical when Nazareth gets into that whole thing. How do you?
For just that, people have to come to the show. For just
yes.
that, because I
yeah. You'll cry when you see this one, and tears of laughter, not tears of pain. The events that Nazareth is going to be at tomorrow with J.J. Jasper, for you folks who live on the Mississippi Gulf Coast or in Mobile or parts of Louisiana, you want to drive. the events are tomorrow night at the Michael Memorial Baptist Church in Gulfport, Mississippi, and then Saturday night at the New Life Family Church in Biloxi. And the both events start at 7 o'clock, and they are free to the public. A love offering will be received. You know, Marvin Sanders, who passed away a couple of months.
What?
You didn't know Marvin passed?
No.
Yeah, you know Marvin. Well, 6 weeks ago or so, wasn't it, Jim? Yeah,
Oh,
Marvin.
he was with us at the Cove.
Yeah, he
Yes.
was with us, but he was real sick. You know, he was. Real,
I know. I saw
yeah.
him. He was. Oh my Lord. Well, he's with the Lord. Amen. Amen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes, Marvin.
Absolutely.
Marvin loved the Lord, and but he. I lost my train of thought. What I was going to say there, but Marvin was. Marvin and Nazareth knew each other, obviously. But I know what it was. I was going to say. It's bad when you lose your.
Train of thought?
Yeah, on live national radio. That's a killer right there. Especially when the other two people just sit and look at you like, what do you,
we didn't. Well, we weren't sure where the train was going.
I know. But anyway, Marvin would say, you were talking about love offerings, and Marvin would, because I would always say, you know, so and so will be there, and a love offering will be taken.
Right. I remember. I know what you're going here.
And Marvin would always say, Tim, you need to rephrase that. A love offering will be received. Okay.
Yeah, because you're not going to have people standing at the door shaking you down.
Yeah. When you say love offering will be taken, it sounds like, sounds like we will have our bouncers there.
I always
AKA
say there's
ushers.
not much love in the offering, but that's the difference. story.
What'd you say?
No, I used to say some churches we used to do love offering and go, there's not much love in the offering. But did you know, I was at a church the other day. You'll think that's funny, Tim, and it's, you know how different churches use different methods to collect the offering. Some use those metal plates, so if you put change, everybody will look at you and get mad at you.
Yeah.
And some people put those nice bags. I was at a church, they had KFC buckets. I kid you not. To take the offering, KFC buckets. I put $5, took a drumstick. But no,
Well, actually, churches are getting desperate now, and they're taking corporate sponsorships.
Right.
And
I go to church now. It's so big. When you call the prayer hotline, you get a guy from India to answer the phone.
Oh my God.
This portion of the worship service brought to you by Ford Motor Company.
Yeah.
I saw that last week.
And the message on Job is sponsored by Allstate Insurance. When things go wrong.
Sunday school sponsored by Walmart. Be sure. So, anyway, that I have seen the KFC buckets used for offerings before.
Well, the really neat part is when you're at a church and they collect the offering, they go back and count it and come back and say that wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
I've heard that goes on.
It does.
That goes on.
Now, if they could do that with the love offering.
We will continue to sit here and sing as long as it takes.
That's right.